All right, guys, so this is the last part of the 2,300 days prophecy of Daniel 8. And we left off talking about how the little horn, according to Daniel 8, overthrew and trampled over the sanctuary or the tabernacle of God. But it did this spiritually and symbolically. And now we are in the most holy place at the Ark of the Covenant. How did the little horn overthrow and trample the Ark of the Covenant? Well, inside the Ark of the Covenant is the Ten Commandments. And the Catholic Church, the little horn, changed the Ten Commandments. Let me show you. So these are the Ten Commandments according to the Bible. And these are the Ten Commandments according to the Catholic Church. And you can go to any Catholic church. If they have the Ten Commandments up, it will be this Ten Commandments. So the first thing the Catholic Church changed is the second commandment, which says, you shall not make for yourself an idol. It's missing. It's not there in the Catholic Ten Commandments. And it's not there because the Catholic Church actually practices a form of idolatry by praying to Mary and praying to the saints. Praying is a form of worship, so that's why they had to remove the second commandment. You might then be asking, how do they have 10 then? It's because they split the last commandment, thou shalt not covet, into 2. The second thing the Catholic Church did was change the Sabbath from Saturday to Sunday. Let me show you. So this is the Convert's Catechism of Catholic Doctrine, and look what they say. Question, which day is the Sabbath day? Answer, Saturday is the Sabbath day. Question, why do we observe Sunday instead of Saturday? Answer, we observe Sunday instead of Saturday because the Catholic Church transferred the solemnity from Saturday to Sunday. Guys, Jesus warned us, God has warned us in Bible prophecy about this happening, about the little horn, casting truth to the ground. In Daniel 8 verse 12, it says that the little horn will exalt itself as high as the Prince of Hosts. Who's the Prince of Hosts? Jesus. So this little horn wants to take Jesus's place. So on this side, in the most holy place of the sanctuary, the tabernacle of God, was the Ark of the Covenant. And on top of it was the mercy seat, okay, or the throne of God, where the Shekinah glory of God's presence shone, okay. And on either side of the mercy seat were covering cherubs. Now look at this, the papal throne. Doesn't it look familiar? The papal throne, just like God's throne, has 2 cherubs on either side. Guys, from this depiction, from the fact that the Catholic Church feels that they have the authority to change the law of God, the Sabbath, it is without a shadow of a doubt that they are the little horn. All right, guys, so when does the prophecy start? Okay, so we have to go to the end of the prophecy to figure that out. So verse 27, let's just start there. And I, Daniel, was overcome and lay sick for some days. Then I rose and went about the king's business. But I was appalled by the vision and did not understand. Now the question is, why did Daniel not understand? The reason why Daniel is confused by this vision is because God told them that they would only spend 70 years in Babylon. And now Daniel is an old man and the 70 years are almost up. And now God is saying that the temple will only be cleansed in 2,300 years. And yes, Daniel understood the date for a year principle. And that's why he was so worried. And in the beginning of the next chapter, we find Daniel reading the scroll of Jeremiah that said they would only spend 70 years in Babylon. So in his confusion, Daniel prays to God and God answers. So now this is God's response to Daniel's prayer. In Daniel 9 verse 22, it says, and he informed me and talked with me and said, O Daniel, I now come forth to give you skill and understanding And the things Daniel didn't understand in the last vision, God now came to give him the understanding of those things. The prophecy says in verse 4, 70 weeks are determined upon thy people and upon thy holy city. The word determined here is actually the Hebrew word for shatak, which means to cut off. So this sentence actually means, verse 24, 70 weeks are cut off for your people, Daniel. Cut off? Cut off from what? Cut off from the previous vision in verse 8. Cut off from the 2,300 days, years. And remember, the two prophecies are connected because this prophecy gives understanding to the previous prophecy. God is actually comforting Daniel with this other vision. God is saying, don't worry, Daniel, I'm going to keep my promise. You're going back after 70 years back home. But listen, this prophecy means something else. But seal it up. It's for the people in the latter days to fully understand. So now that we know that the 70 weeks are actually the first part of the 2,300 year prophecy, we can determine the beginning of the 2,300 years because we have the starting date for the 70 weeks. The starting date was the command to restore and build Jerusalem. This command to restore and build the city of Jerusalem was given in 457 BC. So now that we know the starting dates for the 2,300 days and the 70 weeks prophecy are the same, we can just take 457 BC, add 2,300 years, and we will get the time where the sanctuary will be restored. In 1844? Yes. What happened in 1844? In the time leading up to 1844, there was a group of Christians who studied the scriptures, studied the prophecies like we are doing on this page. They studied the 2,300 year prophecy just as we studied right now. And they landed on 1844, just like us right now. But this group of people mistook this prophecy and interpreted the cleansing of the sanctuary as Jesus' second coming. And since they saw how accurately the first part of the prophecy was fulfilled, the 70 weeks regarding Jesus' baptism and death, they knew the end of the 2,300 days would come true too. They actually just got the event wrong. The Bible actually says that there is a sanctuary in heaven and that the sanctuary on earth was just a copy, a shadow, a pattern of that which was in heaven. The cleansing of the sanctuary actually happened in the Old Testament during the yearly festival of the Day of Atonement. On this day, and only this day, the high priest would enter into the most holy place. And he would intercede on behalf of Israel for God to remove Israel's sin that had been built up in the sanctuary over the year. The Day of Atonement was a day of purification. In Leviticus 16:30, it says that offerings of purification will be made for you concerning the Day of Atonement, and you will be purified in the Lord's presence from all your sins. So in 1844, Jesus, our high priest, moved in the heavenly sanctuary, not the earthly one, from the holy place to the most holy place to intercede for us, to purify us. And when this happened, this birthed the Seventh-day Adventist Church. When Jesus went into the holy place, he took us with him, and we discovered the Sabbath. And now the last part of the sanctuary, the Ark, the Ten Commandments, has been restored. In this prophecy, God is showing us the things that need to be restored for our purification before Jesus comes back. So, what part of the sanctuary needs restoring in your walk with God?